Right, so let's get started with our character profile for the week then. As we promised last week, this week we are having a look back over the tragically cut short life of Maddie Heath, who was buried last week and barely even mentioned this week. But such a shame to live. Everyone's, yeah. She's got her little mural, hasn't she? I wonder whether they're actually going to keep that mural and like they'll show it every now and again. Like Maxine's got her bench, hasn't she? And we know it's Maxine's bench, but it's never referred to as being it. But I mean,
referred to, does it?
No, but I suppose there's no getting away that this mural is actually for Maddie. I keep saying Muriel, it's the Hilda in me. Muriel.
I wrote Muriel.
Did you? Brilliant. So, Maddie Heath, born on the 3rd of February 1997 and she died on the 1st of June 2015. Her mother was Fran, her brother was Ben, and she first appeared on the 25th of December 2013 before making her last appearance the other week on the 1st of June 2015. In that short time, she was in 128 episodes and she was played by Amy James Kelly. But it was just sometimes called just Amy Kelly. I don't really understand. So yeah, she started filming. Started filming in the second half of 2013. She was even doing her A levels at the time when she started filming as Maddie. So good for her. Art, photography, and theatre studies, if anyone's interested. And I couldn't find like a introduction interview or anything from Amy, but Brooke at the time said Maddie shakes things up. She's very much a Kylie Platt or Becky McDonald character, but a lot worse. She's very demanding and hard to read. You're intrigued by her. I think she's a good match for Sophie, who stands her ground with her. They're both feisty and want to get one over on each other. Sophie likes her because she's naughty. I think that describes Maddie quite well.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, feisty, naughty,
and a Kylie Platt, Becky McDonald type character, but because she's got her sensitive side.
I don't think she's worse. I think Kylie and Becky had very vindictive streaks, and I wouldn't say Maddie had that.
No, at least not at the very beginning. Maybe she did when she nicked Sally's bag. But as soon as she was sort of girlfriends with Sophie, she's just been pretty lovely, hasn't she?
There's so many characters who came in this big sort of blaze of like scandal and then just
turned out to be nice.
Just nice.
So she was born in 1997, like we just said. Fran, her mum, had mental health issues, and at some point Maddie and her younger brother Ben were put into foster care. But by 2013, Maddie'd been living on the streets for a few years and visiting the local soup kitchen.
Do you know what? Soup kitchens. I know that. I always want to go there because they sound delicious.
You do like soup, don't you?
I
love
soup so much.
We're going through a gazpacho phase at the moment, aren't we?
I bet they do serve gazpacho soup.
I bet Sally would if she was working there properly.
I know in real life it's probably just like all the cans of soup dumped into a massive vat and just stirred up and really not really that great. But just the idea, just the word soup kitchen makes me go...
You could start up a high-class soup kitchen.
I'm sure there already is one.
So we first see Maddie there on Christmas Day because Sophie is working out. She's being all Christianly and helping out on Christmas Day, and she drags Sally in to volunteer as well, hasn't she? So Maddie dislikes Sally straight away for being incredibly snooty about it. And Sally gets her face pushed into some trifle by Maddie.
Because it's funny.
Because it was funny on Christmas Day, and Maddie steals her handbag. So we didn't see very much more of her in 2013. But it's 2014, Sophie is on the case. She goes back to the kitchen to confront Maddie about her stolen bag, which also contains a special watch of Sally. So she wants to get that back, really. It's really clear that Maddie has actually got this watch and the bag and everything. And Sophie promises to give Maddie £50 to get it back. So Maddie's like, okay, hands over the bag, and Sophie doesn't give her the cash because she's just evil.
She's evil. It's horrible. So
Maddie is like, right, I'm not having any of that. I'm going to go back, follow Sophie back, and get my watch back. And then there was a funny scene where she goes to over the road, over the maisonette where Sally and Tim are living, and she interrupts a snoozing Tim and gives him a nosebleed. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And
it's
Tim,
funny.
That was really funny because Tim was all saying, "Oh, it was this big
hulking fellow."
Yeah, and Sally was
me.
hailing him as the hero of the street for seeing off this horrible. Yeah, and it was actually just Maddie. And then when Maddie's back again, there's a bit of a Maddie goes and confronts Maddie again, and Sophie confronts Maddie again. There's a bit of a spark between them, and Maddie kisses her. And Sophie also finds out about Maddie's mum and brother. They don't make a big thing ever about the fact whether Maddie's a lesbian or not. I mean, she obviously is going out with Sophie.
She's a bit of a lesbian.
But whereas Sophie's storyline was she was being labelled as I'm a lesbian, or this is my coming out storyline and I like girls and everything. With Maddie, it was just like, I like you as a person.
I've always been a lesbian.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just not a big deal made out of it, is it? It's kind of, I suppose, like Sean.
I think that's good though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of natural. They didn't have to make a big thing out of it.
Yeah, that's good, I think.
So Sophie also finds out about Maddie's mum and brother and stuff around this time. Now, the next little storyline last year was Ben ran away from his foster home and Maddie and Sophie had to go and get him back. And I was kind of wondering at the time whether Ben would turn out to be like a regular character on the street, because he was actually not a bad little actor and he was quite a cute boy, wasn't he? And he's like, and Maddie, you could see, was very protective of him because he was the kind of boy that needed looking after a little bit. So that was one of the times when we got to see a little bit more of Maddie's kind of softer side and not just this harsh front that she's been putting up until then. So then, Gemma, what happens next?
Where are we?
We are here.
Where?
With Sophie and Maddie's relationship.
Oh, you played at a different bit. With Sophie and Maddie's relationship in full swing,
As
Sally
living
refuses to accept them as a couple. So they moved to live in a halfway house. Oh, that was terrible.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did you not like that?
No, they lived in this... No, they didn't like it there because everyone was horrible. Do you
Oh,
not remember?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
sort of a slum. And
It
then
was,
they
it
had
was a
to go and
horrible
live on the
place.
street because it was so terrible and people kept having parties or something. I can't remember. They had
Yeah, they did.
arguments with people.
Yeah.
And then they moved into number 13.
Yeah, they lasted about 2 days living on the street, didn't they?
They lasted long enough to have a photo of Maddie and Sophie on the street.
For publicity purposes.
Yeah.
And didn't they get
A bit like
bucket
when
of
Prince
water?
William slept rough for a night.
Didn't they get a bucket of water chucked over them or something?
it
And
was
Sophie's
water.
like, I'm having enough of that. Yeah, Sophie had the amazing idea of sneaking home to go and get a change of clothes or something. And while she's there, I think like somebody interrupted her or somebody sees her or something.
Something like
so
that.
anyway, they decide that they are not cut out for living on the street anymore, or at least Sophie is, so they move into number 13. I think, was that when Kevin was there or wasn't there? I don't even remember at the time, but he lets them live there, doesn't he?
Yes.
He's back and forth to Germany still at that time.
Now, Maddie finds out that Ben is going to be moving to Devon with his foster parents, and she doesn't like it, so she takes him away from his foster home and stows him. He kind of hides in Mary's camper van.
Yeah, well, she kind of over-mothers him in a way, doesn't she? And she's like treating him really well and like giving him all these treats. And then she finds that the social services are coming, so she like grabs him away. But it kind of turns out that he doesn't really want to be kidnapped, and he's
Funny that,
pretty
isn't it?
happy with his foster family and the life in Devon.
Yeah, Sophie's like,
life in Devon.
he's going to have a better life there, so Maddie lets him go. Ben says, I want to go, so really Maddie's the only one that's got a problem here.
That was really sad. But they did give him an excuse sometimes. They kept going back and forth to Devon over the year, didn't they? They wanted the actors out of it for a little bit.
Later on in the year, Maddie is a bit heroic because Eccles has an accident and has to go to see the vet. So Maddie steals Carla's car. Oh my gosh! And Carla's sort of mad about it, but she kind of really likes Maddie's chutzpah.
I like your chutzpah.
Yeah. And so she says, right, you got work for me at the factory.
And she does an awesome job.
Her. As we know, we haven't mentioned this before, but any labour that Maddie turns her hand to, she instantly is the best at it than anyone's ever
Maybe that's
been.
why they had to kill her off, because she would like be slowly taking over the street a bit.
Yeah, she'd be like, Roy, why don't you let me just take over the cafe? And then when he goes back, it's like the first of a chain of 50 cafes throughout Manchester. And she's like, oh yeah, profits are up 5 billion. Is that okay, Roy?
Roy wouldn't like that.
No, I know he wouldn't.
We also haven't said about the fact that from about that point in the year last year, Maddie and Sophie start to hang about with Simon a bit, don't they? And there's a bit of a relationship that builds, particularly between Maddie and Simon, and that doesn't really go anywhere in the end, does it?
Not really.
I don't remember. But
well, she's dead now, so no, it doesn't.
It's not
she also, that year, discovers Tim's secret that he can't read.
Yeah, and she helps him out with it, doesn't she? She like, plays word games and things
though.
because she's so nice.
In 2015, as we know, there was the minibus crash earlier in the year, and she escapes relatively unscathed and helps rescue others, and this kind of helps her and Sally sort of like each other a bit more, because Sally obviously had a problem with her the whole time about stealing her bag and stuff.
Well, yeah, because she was a little street rat, wasn't she, in Sally's eyes? Not good enough for her, Sophie.
I'm not quite sure I'd be that enthusiastic about my daughter.
I know, but it's just Sally.
I mean, Maddie's a nice person, yeah, so yeah.
She becomes much more of a nice person. I'm really glad that they did soften her quickly. Sometimes when they soften a character, it seems a bit like fake, and it's like they're not true to who they first were when they came in, but I think because they did it quick enough with Maddie, and she's a really good actress as well. And when we heard about her backstory and everything, it was very believable. And it was nice that there was somebody for Sophie, wasn't there?
Yes.
Because they, much more so than Jenna.
Well, we were wondering if they were going to get married.
Yeah.
But no. As we said, she gets closer to Simon, and she gets annoyed with Norris when he punctures Simon's ball when he kicks it against the cabin. And she tricks him by ordering a bulk supply of Chicken Fancier magazine. That was to do with his phone or some kind of app or like automatic ordering system that she messes around with. And then she steals the newspaper poster from outside the cabin, and Norris begins to think he's going crazy. So she does a bit of gaslighting there. At the end, but yeah. And then Maddie gets annoyed with Sophie distrusting Jenny Bradley so much, but then she finds out the truth on the night of the Victoria Court fire and goes to tell her and gets blowed up and dies a few days later.
So sad.
From having all her bits blowed up.
And that was a shock, wasn't it? I think lots of people kind of assumed that Cal would die in the fire, but that little second wind of excitement from Maddie was very exciting and unexpected. Shocking it was.
They confirmed she was leaving on 9th of February this year, and she said, "I made the decision to leave because I'm young and adventurous, and I want to gain more experience and explore and improve my craft. Acting is my passion, and I'm excited to see where it takes me. I've had the most amazing 18 months, and I'll be sad to leave my Corrie family. It's been like a second home, but like all young people, you eventually fly the nest. I can't thank everyone enough who made this not only possible, but fantastic." I think she's got so much potential.
I really think that Amy's got a lot of potential, so I don't blame her for going, but it doesn't make me any happier that she has.
I always said that she was one of the most glamorous on the red carpet, and as we know, that is kind of like outside of Coronation Street. That's where people see a lot of these stars.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see her in other roles.
I can see her going to Hollywood. I can.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be like the street rat kind of role.
If she's good at,
certainly won't be typecast. She
scrubs up bloody well. That girl does. If she can do an American accent,
I bet she can.
She's away. The next thing she's going to be in is an 8-part ITV series called Jericho, which is set in 1870s Yorkshire, so she doesn't need an accent for that.
I don't know what part she's going to play in that, but I would be almost interested in watching that.
She's going to play the lead role of Jericho.
It seems to me from that she's going to be some kind of little rapscallion again, isn't
Probably.
she? But,
she needs to get a break away from that, I think. But I think she's so talented and charismatic. I think she could have been in Coronation Street until she called it a day. Yeah,
I don't know whether it was a good move for them to kill her off, because she could have gone off around the world, seen an elephant, and then come back if she needed to, because...
Well, yeah, but she didn't, did she?
With Cal, fine, but...
Cal, bye, Cal. You've had your chance. You're rubbish. Yeah. You didn't go with the he secretly murdered Jamila plot, which I was hoping for.
I know. But she was really, really good for Sophie, and that... so particularly compared to the likes of Jenna and even Sian, I think. I don't remember much about their relationship, to be honest, but I think that Sophie and Maddie really could have.
Doesn't she?
She did, she does, and I think that they could have really made a go of it. And I'm just not really looking forward to seeing yet another getting a girlfriend storyline for Sophie. How long is it going to be? Maybe next year.
Maybe she'll be a nun.
Maybe, yeah.
She is quite religious. I don't know if you knew that.
Just in case we'd forgotten about that. Maybe.
Well, that's Maddie, everybody. Send us your Maddie thoughts and stuff.
A character whose flame was extinguished too soon.
She was a candle in the wind.
Yeah, one of the really good Stuart Blackburn creations, I would say. But, oh well,
she's dead.
Yeah, let's get over it.
To the cabin.